one of the things we ask all our guests is their top tip or advice for marketers looking ahead in 2021. So what are your pearls of wisdom going to be here for us?
Okay, so I think certainly we've all proved to ourselves that in the this last year that we can adapt to very uncertain times. So I think that's something that we really need to be mindful of as we go into the new year. And often that means, you know, trying out new things, figuring out sort of new challenges. So whether that's because different organizations are using different platforms, whether it's Zoom, MS Teams to engage with their clients, you know, that presents a challenge in itself. But also in terms of internally, you know, influencing your stakeholders and making sure that people are on board and willing to try new things, because we're all having to adapt and try and do different things differently. So I think that's the first one, and that's key. Secondly, there's certain trends that, you know, have been prevalent for a while, whether it's digitization, ESG, and I'm talking obviously from the perspective of the business that I work in. I guess that this year has really accelerated that. So digitization, it might be the use of e-signatures, it's remote working, and how we manage that more effectively and more quickly, business continuity, operational resilience, for example. If you look at ESG, and exactly as we were just talking just now in terms of the diversity and inclusion, I think the S of ESG is going to be really, really important. So whether that's in terms of gender or ethnic diversity, but also things like social mobility. You're seeing companies now bringing on apprenticeships, which perhaps wouldn't have been done before. So again, as well as you know, being reflective of your client base in terms of, you know, culture and ethnicity and gender, it's also around the social mobility and social inclusion as well. I think that's really important and going to be an area there's going to be a lot of focus on. And then finally, I guess it's relationship capital. You know, as marketers and in, you know, any business, the people side of things is always important and absolutely key. So having that relationship capital, having good relationships, whether it's with your suppliers, with your co-workers, with your journalists, whoever it is so important, and has, especially as we're all working in a remote, you know, environment. So your face-to-face contact is very limited, obviously. The challenge again is when it comes to things like new business, you know, how do you develop those new relationships in a remote working environment? So I think that's something we're all going to be more mindful of, and whether it means, you know, the absence of physical events for a little while, that's hopefully going to change, but, you know, is it ever going to go back to how it was before? Probably not. So, you know, we're again having to adapt to that and see how we can evolve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anoosha. I think that was a great piece of advice, and I'm sure our marketers are going to bear that in mind and try to keep that top tips when they are actually implementing some of their plans and strategy at their workplace. So once again, thank you so much, Anoosha, for your time, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Payal.
And I would like to thank you, our fantastic, lovely listeners and viewers today for your time and patience. I hope you found this interview useful. I do want to say that diversity and inclusion is something is very close to the heart of our community, and we would be launching a D&I series. So stay tuned, and if you would like to participate in these conversations and discussions and contribute, then please do not hesitate to contact us at fintechb2bmarketing.com. Until then, we're going to see you again with another exciting guest. Thank you.